In the news this week, Australian dream or Australian nightmare? What happens when your new home is not up to standard?
Also in the news, activists unite to condemn live animal export with traffic bridge rally.
This is the Evening News with Ivan Lung and Daniel Stanislav.
Good evening. There are allegations that new homes in the state are poorly constructed. Disgruntled home buyers are now turning the tables by posting their accusations on social media. The group's leader labelled the current situation as pandemic. Nelson Liu with this exclusive report.
Poorly plastered walls, cracks, collapsing ceilings. These are some of the problems residents are finding after being handed the keys to their brand new homes.
They've been duped, they've been tricked, they've been defrauded, whatever words you want to put to it.
Buyers of newly built homes are angry over immediately appearing and delayed problems after construction, blaming poor workmanship and materials.
The look of it alone is bad in most of the homes in Western Australia. But it's the underlying root problem, that it's the things that you don't see.
They say the WA Building Commission isn't looking after new home buyers.
There's all sorts of skullduggery going on around the place to try and cover up the truth.
But the Building Commission says they're offering measures to resolve issues, with action available up to 6 years after construction.
We can issue building remedy orders where we actually ask the builder to carry out some work to fix the problem. And in most cases, that's how these issues are resolved.
The Shulky Builders WA Facebook group has described the problems plaguing newly built homes as a pandemic. But fixing a home like this one could set you back a fortune of approximately $100,000.
The Commission says home buyers can turn to their website and research construction and materials to meet expectations and avoid problems. And if issues arise, work with the builder to fix them. Nelson Liu, WAMN News.
Hundreds of citizens formed a human chain on the Stirling Bridge voicing their opposition against live animal export. It's the 6th year since the campaign has begun, but organisers believe the protest has never been stronger. Cassandra Elliott has a story.
A human chain was formed along Stirling Bridge in protest of live animal exports. This is the 6th year the human chain has been created by Stop Live Exports, and the event's organiser, Sandy Roundsley, says it's their biggest year yet. Approximately 850 members of the public joined in, wearing signs around their necks indicating their positions on exporting live animals.
We're trying to demonstrate to politicians the level of public opposition there is to this trade.
The livestock export industry is worth over $800 million each year. It is the livelihood of many rural and regional Australians. This symbolic bridge behind me is the annual meeting place for the Stop Live Exports rally. State and federal MPs were among the public standing on the bridge in protest.
I think there are a number of people Australia-wide, including parliamentarians at state and federal level, that believe that in the future there will be a transition away from live export and towards an increased chilled meat export trade.
I think the biggest concern about live animal export is the treatment of the animals as they're travelling overseas.
The Stop Live Export protest happens annually in Perth along the Stirling Bridge. Cassandra Elliott, WAMN News.
700 fire trucks will be equipped with GPS location technology to help firefighters navigate in large-scale bushfires. During an AVL system demonstration, Emergency Services Minister Joe Francis says the program's funding comes from the government's $11.5 million budget to protect volunteer and career firefighters on the front line.
So in the crew protection side of it, to know where a fire truck is in real time, to be able to have a member of a fire truck crew press a duress button if they get into trouble.
A radical concept of sustainable housing is coming to the metro area, with the City of Fremantle calling for expressions of interest. The new housing model will allow homeowners to design their own living space and reduce the home development costs. The City Council has earmarked the former youth club facility on Quarry Street in the CBD for development.
Cooperative housing is nothing new, but this idea of a housing cooperative that actually terminates on completion is certainly new. Something that's very common in Europe and has worked with great success over there.
The City Council will accept proposals until the 6th of December.
A new wave of accusation has hit Donald Trump after the Washington Post uploaded a video showing him using vulgar and predatory language against women back in 2005. Mr. Trump has already apologized through a statement. The video was released just 1 month before the US presidential election and 2 days before the second debate. But Mr. Trump's rival Hillary Clinton is also in trouble after thousands of hacked emails from her campaign was made public.
At least 108 people have been killed after Category 4 Hurricane Matthew hits Haiti before it approaches America. The death toll was confirmed by the island nation's Interior Minister after a government spokesperson admits the country was hit extremely hard by the hurricane. After the storm, residents salvage any belongings they can get as others search for clean water sources. Meanwhile, there are no casualties reported from Cuba and Bahamas.
And finally, this week, Mandurah has won the right to host the 2018 Australasian Police and Emergency Services Games. The Games are held every second year as a multi-sport event open to police and emergency services agencies in the region. Guests from New Zealand, Papua New Guinea, the Pacific Islands, Indonesia, Singapore and Hong Kong will take part in the competition. And those are the top stories you need to know this week.
You can follow the latest happenings on our website and Facebook. Good night.
See ya.